All right. Hi, everybody.
Hi, Nick.
You ready?
I am ready.
Welcome to Xuanzang's Tower. I hope everybody's doing great. And we've got class today, getting ready right now with Mr. Scott Reunion himself, uh, Sugeng. We're studying the Wheel of Life together. Grateful to have you all here. And then after that, we have a treat. We had some last minute schedule changes all over the place. And Geshe Michael, as you know, is still recovering. I think he's doing great, but just we're giving him some time to rest. So we're going to have a Q&A session after with Ben. So if you have tough questions, he's your guy. Thank you. And Sugeng, whenever you're ready, take it away.
All right. I didn't prepare the homework. We only covered few phrases the last time. So I think I'm going to start with the next verses from the book, if that is okay.
Great.
All right. So maybe we can review a little bit of what we discussed previously, just to have some context.
Yeah, that's always really helpful. Thank you.
Yeah, I reviewed myself, but I think it's good to review again with everyone. So we talk about it's meaningless. We were on the topic of about this when the collection of six consciousness. Let me put. We are at the topic of six collections of consciousness and how are they involved with whether they are the ones crossing to the next link number 4, which is name and form, and then how it is then related to link number 5, which is the 6 doors of sense. So, and then we are saying that if all the six consciousness from link number 3, assuming they are link number 3 crossing over, creating link number 4, name and form, and then link number 4 in turn triggers link number 5 with all the 6 doors of sense. If we have all the six consciousness, then there would be nobody ever be born with as blind or deaf. And so I guess this is us, right? So we then continue to say that it is meaningless to talk about that, even without saying about it. According to details of the specific karma, there are corresponding details of the consciousness, and that from those come details of the name and form. And it's only right that from that should come details of the 6 doors of sense. So trying to make sense of this sentence, we are basically saying that only consciousness with enough, maybe enough karma, enough seeds will cross over from link number 3 to link number 4. And then correspondingly, they will trigger link number 5. To think more critically, since, well, I mean, when we see people with complete 6 doors of sense, perhaps we can think that they must have all the causes for the six consciousness to cross over together. All right, so I think this is what we can conclude. And if the details of the result didn't come from details of the cause, then we couldn't even say that the former were a condition for the latter. Yeah. So we continue our argument, right? And also, so somebody, the other guy quoted Lord Buddha's phrase to Ananda. And we say that also that phrase saying that the consciousness didn't enter the mother's womb is something we have to examine further. If someone were to ask, how do I interpret this meaning of if it didn't enter the womb, does it mean that it doesn't enter? So we are this is about, we are asking if someone were to come and say that if it didn't enter the womb, so basically we are questioning if that someone is saying that it doesn't enter the womb. I love the play of words here. Kind of fun, huh? Yeah, everybody looks so serious. Nobody's smiling with me, except Venerable Cat. And yeah, oh, Kazakova is smiling too. How are you, Kazakova? I don't know. Slowly, I will forget her real name, Marina. Sorry. So it makes no sense to say that the consciousness which makes the crossing into the birth enters the mother's womb. Wow. I'm confused already. Is this us or is this the other party? Oh, we are saying, right? If someone were to ask. Anyway, and then because there's this last part of key, I put the however, just a reminder for myself to check, to make sure that there is something behind. And it's a reminder to myself that I need to take it out when it goes to the final translation. All right. And what is reasonable is that consciousness which has been imprinted by fresh karma enters the mother's womb by way of the intermediate state. Mm-hmm. Yeah, this is reasonable.
So far, so good. So
So
far,
far,
makes
so
sense.
good. Yeah, thank you.
This is our review of last time, right?
This is the phrase,
The
the
last
verse
couple of
that
verses
we
we covered.
discussed.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I'm just reviewing so that we have the context and we can continue. Due to the connection of those, meaning the consciousness being imprinted, upon the fresh karma entering the mother's womb. If the blood and semen then come together, name and form will then ripen. And where do we get the idea of calling it a fetus? Yeah. So we are basically saying that the fetus itself must have come from the connection of those, instead of just the blood and semen come together, which is still logical, right? And that's where we stop actually. So this is a new sentence then. The new sentence. All right. So shall we continue?
Yeah.
All right, let's continue. So let me read and then I need the team to help me decipher and translate. But Tim is not here today, right?
It's okay. People think that I'm Tim all the time.
I know, I know,
And
I
don't
know.
and don't worry, Sugeng, I'm here. I'm just lurking in the background.
I'm sorry. Yeah. I'm trying to be very careful to say the terms correctly. Okay, let's continue.
There we go.
Oh yeah, Venerable Pala is smiling, is laughing at me.
And Geshe Michael left us a lot of notes, so that's nice.
That's nice. I love the notes. I love the notes. Yeah.
It's helpful. All right.
Yeah. Onte di Junmeng nghèo tu Mikewa Yunani de Cheming Tang Suk Kepa Kona Yin Pe de Kengi de Kevar Mirixo.
Okay.
Onte, onte. What should I? However, the Junmengel, the
if the meaning here, I believe he's saying if the meaning here is that you don't take birth in the mother's womb.
you don't take birth in the mother's womb. Mikewa Inani. Oh yeah. The meaning here that you don't take birth in the mother's womb.
Then at that time, they'd say,
at that time,
Ming Suk.
The Ling Ming Dang Suk Kepa, the birth, the start of the name and form.
Yeah, I think it's kind of like how they come about.
The name and form comes about.
Yeah. It seems like it's saying it just starts, or it is
it's just the birth of name and form.
It's just the birth of name and form. Yeah.
And then because of that,
birth is incorrect.
The birth is
well,
incorrect.
You can't say that birth, then it would be wrong to say that birth occurs due to that condition.
That trigger, I think, is
that trigger.
Yeah, I think so.
Oh, cool. However, if the meaning here is that you don't take birth in the mother's womb, at that time it's just the birth of name and form. And because of that, then it would be wrong to say that birth occurs due to that trigger. Oh, cool. Nice English.
Just a tiny
trigger?
thing I would suggest is that because this is basically not true, then I would say at that time it would be just the birth of name and form.
It would be
right. Yeah, totally.
The birth of name and form.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Because this is like
Kasika put merely. That sounds nice too, right? Merely, just merely. Yeah. Okay. And because of
what?
Yeah.
What trigger is it wrong to say?
Yeah,
it is.
This, I think we are talking about either the connection or the blood and cement coming together. Yeah, either
right.
one.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So just like earlier, we had this question about, do sense objects trigger sense awarenesses, or does name and form trigger sense awarenesses, since name and form is the link before the sense awarenesses, even though we would normally say objects trigger sense powers, trigger sense awarenesses. Now we're saying, do blood and semen coming together in the womb trigger entering of the womb, or is it consciousness that triggers name and form? Is the name and form of somebody in the womb triggered by consciousness, or is it triggered by the coming together of physical stuff, blood and semen, for example? Is that the debate we're having?
I think so. I think you sort of summarized the debate here, the discussion here. Yeah.
Okay.
It's helpful. Thank you.
Okay, good. I'm just banking on not being the only one lost. And
no, you are not lost. I think you summarized pretty well. Thank you.
Okay.
Only one not lost.
You are the only one not lost. Thank
No,
you. Yeah.
no, thank you. Okay.
All right. So, Venerable Carding, would you give us the honor of reading this next sentence, please?
Thank you. Thank you, Sugeng. Dele kyang nam ma shi war du nam parshe pan ni ming tang suki kiengi ngu porten pe deji tar ning sam jorwe nam parshe parung.
Thank you. Nice reading.
Thank you.
Dele kyang nam ma. Dele kyang nam.
But wait, there's more.
Mhm.
Yeah, something like that. Daily. Yeah. From that. Also more than that, kind of. Yeah, I
There is
think
more than that. There is more than
maybe.
that.
There's even more.
There's even more.
Yeah.
Something like that, man. Yeah, we'll see. But
Let's see.
Yeah.
Mash.
Vasubandhu.
Nam. This seems like a strange
Yeah, it's like
formation.
or.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
Something
where's
seems
the
weird.
N from? I don't see the N, right?
Could nam be an interrogative particle?
Yes, it can.
Or maybe it's like,
Yeah.
is that it? Or something like that.
Yeah. Yeah, that's great.
Or like, or does something come from that?
That's great. I think that's got to be right.
It's probably something more like that, Sugeng, than
There
wait.
is something.
No. Just
Huh? Oh,
Yeah, or
I
it's
think,
like or is there more to it than that?
yeah.
say again?
Or is there more to it than that?
Or is there more to it than that?
Is that the interrogative particle for a word ending in nga?
Definitely don't know off the top of my
Could
head.
this be ngam then? Should this be ngam? If I were to look at this right now, I don't know. Should this be?
No, I think it means there's
No?
another meaning for that word than just being like or
Oh, another meaning. Okay,
question. Yeah.
I see. Tele.
I think it's going to be an interrogative particle, but let's see what comes next.
Okay.
We would have to have a misspelling indicator then.
Oh, you want me to put indicator? Okay.
It only comes after a word that ends in na, not nga.
Nga, right? So you want me to put something here?
Well, provisionally.
Yeah, you
What should I
could.
put
Yeah,
here? Or something?
NGAM maybe. We
Okay.
don't know.
I
Okay.
have no idea. Is it ngam, Upala?
Is that what you mean?
I'm sorry, what was the question?
Is
Do we
ngam?
know what it should be after a nga?
It should be ngam.
Okay,
Right.
got it. Or yeah, ngam.
Mhm.
Or is there more to it than that? Can I put a question mark here and then yeah. Nga siwa to tanpa sepani.
Let's see. Mashi Bardu. What? This is.
It's something
I
like
don't
as
know.
consciousness not being pacified.
Not being what?
No,
Okay.
don't write down what I'm saying.
Oh, no, it's okay.
Please. Yeah.
Sorry.
No. It's okay. I'm flattered.
Yeah, I mean, I wonder if this is before you've passed from the Bardo. I guess it would say Bardo, but maybe. Let's see. Let's build from some more of the sentence, maybe.
Yeah, Ming
Uh,
Genki, the
um, yeah, Rhone, it right it is appropriate. Um, uh, Jordwe Nampar Shepa. Uh,
It's
the
Ning Jawa.
oh, good, Nyingtam Jorwa, right? Good, perfect.
crossing the. So
Yeah, for consciousness to cross into a new birth.
yeah. This is something about like we're talking about whether or not consciousness or what happens to it at death, I guess, or as far as saying how consciousness doesn't pass away. Name and form trigger the trigger of name and form. But yeah, sorry guys, I got interrupted by something by a sick child. I'm saying something about as far as consciousness not passing away, well, then name and form, the trigger of name and form, tenpei. What is this tempa doing here?
Yeah, I mean directly taught, right?
directly
No
taught.
portend. Yeah, something.
No, is
No,
that
what else is Demba gonna be?
is,
Demonstrating.
is this ngopo mean directly here?
Uh, Typically, no por.
Essentially. Mhm.
Huh.
Oh, or really?
Substantially.
Yeah.
Substantially.
Yeah, I thought it was
Okay.
being,
Yeah, you could
you
say
don't teach
taught
something.
as a substantial trigger for name and
Yeah,
form.
I think it's something more like that. It's
Or
the
or it could
foundation of
be
it's the
an
substantial
indication,
foundation of. Hmm.
indicates, reveals, explains.
Uh-huh. Mhm.
Tempa.
I think it's that name and form are providing some sort of substantial foundation upon which you can say that uh, consciousness is crossing into the new life or whatever. Like, is it possible that this BSTAN is not taught at all, but or explained, but it's more like the tempa that we see in the Bengali text?
Like
Mm.
indicate or illustrates or demonstrates or
Demonstrate.
But doesn't it mean like the foundational thing also, or is that a difference?
mm, I don't know.
Because isn't this the spelling that we used in the mind only text? There's like when we're talking about the kunchi, does the Geshe Michael talks about the refrigerator, and there's the thing that things rest upon, and then there's the thing which rests upon the things. And isn't this the spelling that means it's the thing that is rested upon,
Oh,
like a foundation, or is that a different spelling? Am I all
that would be a different spelling.
okay? Is that with an E or something?
It's probably a B or
Oh, okay. Well, this is BR maybe. Okay. Hmm.
Yeah, I think they are.
Okay. Okay.
So yeah, this is yeah, it seems like is this yeah, demonstrating then a substantial trigger for name and form, which again, like yeah, ngopo meaning yeah, I guess meaning substantial in the sense of I don't know, a real trigger or something substantial is pushing it a little bit, but that would be convenient. It doesn't say ze,
I,
but when we're talking,
I'm sorry, I think the Nupor is linked to the Tempa, not to the Kin.
Oh, okay. Substantial.
right, Right, demonstrated as substantial by
Substantially demonstrates.
Mhm.
No text.
So the condition of name and form, Mingdang Suki Kin, Gi is doing something. And Nupor Tempeh, that's also doing something.
Oh,
Yeah, Mashiwar, as long as you haven't died, I guess.
As
Then
long as you have a what?
died,
Oh.
up until the time of death. Like for as long as you have not yet died, um, then a consciousness, ni is probably is, I guess. Um,
Consciousness is
Yeah, as Ming Tang Suk. Consciousness as Ming Tang Suk.
yeah, consciousness is,
Yeah, as name and form.
yeah,
I don't know that.
yeah. Uh,
I don't know.
oh, yeah, shows itself as a, yeah, as a ngopo. I mean, this may just be ngopo as in bhava, as a substantial thing. It shows itself
Oh.
as a thing.
yeah. That was kind of my first thought about it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah, that
triggered
makes
by,
sense.
yeah, triggered by name and form.
Are we all not seeing the screen right now? Or just,
Oh.
No, we're seeing the screen.
oh, huh.
Mhm.
Aha, there it is.
Oh, okay.
Whoa, there's no Zoom upgrade. Okay, interesting. Mhm.
And then because of that, hey,
This one?
yeah, it is appropriate for consciousness to,
Cross into another life.
yeah,
Ah, as
like
far as
like
how
so,
as far as
like
how
that.
consciousness does not pass away, well, it shows itself as a functional thing that relies upon the trigger of name and form, and therefore we can say it crosses into another life.
Can you repeat again, Nick? As long as the
As
conscious.
far as how it is that consciousness does not pass away,
As long as.
well, it relies, I mean, it shows itself as a thing or that is triggered by name and form. I mean, this has to be massaged. And thus we can say that consciousness crosses into another life. And so we can say, I don't know if that makes total sense, but that's what we came up with so far.
Okay.
Yeah, and it's a problem, right? We still have this problem where we're talking about at the moment link 4 somehow triggering link 3.
Oh, yes.
Right? Which is the way we think of things. I mean, that is sort of the normal thought, is that stuff comes together, and because of that stuff coming together, consciousness is triggered.
Right.
But that's not the presentation in the 12 links.
And by the way, if you want to catch all the words, Gelse just pointed out that we need to put the word thing in there for it to read. Somehow we have to catch Nglopo. So it shows itself as thing or something,
Or just as something triggered by name and form.
yeah, something.
Where is the ngopo is the thing? Okay. I see.
Yeah. Yeah.
Mm,
Okay. Well,
okay. Looks
I think that's
looks
as sufficient a mess as we can make out of that temporarily.
looks pretty
Mhm.
cool.
Right.
Thank you.
Impressively provisional.
Impressively understandable.
We got the words mostly right. It's just now we got to figure out what the heck it means.
Well, from
I'm-
Geshe-la's notes, when we consider that
Mm.
DG tar would be then,
Mm.
how would it be suitable to say that consciousness crosses into another life?
Yeah, totally. It's funny that we just did all that struggling. I don't know about you guys, but I didn't look once at Geshe Michael's notes.
Oh yeah, did he? Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
That's amazing.
How could it be?
It does give me some comfort though that whenever he makes this much notes, it's a hard sentence.
Mm-mm.
And
Okay.
if from that, okay. And by the way, the nam, I don't know, but he didn't seem to treat it, but he just treated that first part of the sentence as and if from that.
And if from that,
And I don't he says until one died. Mashiwar dunam parshepani. So sometimes something we've learned from Geshe Michael a few times, I think, and somebody's set me straight if I'm wrong, but sometimes when they use the negative particle, like does not pass away is how we translated it. Geshe Michael said until someone dies.
oh, okay.
Perhaps, and I believe he's taught us this, sometimes the negative particle can mean up until that point.
And doesn't pardu means until?
Yes.
Yeah. With the pardu, yeah. And we were treating it as mashiwa.
Right.
It's probably mashi. Oh, mashi.
It means
totally
until
right.
you die. It means until you die.
Totally.
It's just phrased as long as you haven't died.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Yeah, it's the same, I suppose.
It's the same. Yeah, it's fine.
But
I don't know that I would say
if
consciousness didn't die.
We said if consciousness. It was more like if consciousness does not pass away, which is a little different.
I would say if one hasn't died, as long as one hasn't died, consciousness shows itself as something. Because I don't think consciousness doesn't die. Yeah, one has not died. Consciousness shows itself as something triggered by name and form. So then,
yeah.
Right. Yeah. So then, how could it be? Yeah. Okay. Right. So then, how could it be suitable? And you might want to say right after name and form there, Sugeng, or before how. So then, how? It might even be a new sentence. Period. So then, how? Because if consciousness is showing itself in dependence upon being triggered by stuff, then when that stuff dies, how could we say that consciousness is going to be moving into a new body because the stuff that's triggering it is dead?
But
you don't need to write all that. Yeah.
Says that's not what it says though.
Oh,
like
you
it
don't
didn't
think that's
give
what it
all
means?
those links. All it said was until death. Or
Right. So what's the
as
problem?
long as alive.
Right. But what's the trouble? Why is it a problem that mhm. Sorry?
Go ahead.
Oh no, I was just why is it a problem uh to say that consciousness crosses into a new life? Why does saying that consciousness shows itself as a thing triggered by name and form, why does saying that make it a problem to say that consciousness would cross into a new life? And that's just my guess at the moment, is because if you say that it's triggered by material stuff, then when one dies, the material stuff that would be acting as a trigger is no longer available. And so how could you say that consciousness crosses into a new life if the trigger has died?
The trigger
But
has to be around as long as the thing it triggers is?
yeah, it does. That is the nature of causation. A thing is caused if, yeah, it's true. A result can only exist in so much as it's sustained by its cause, I think.
Is that right?
So trees don't exist
Chi Chir. Why would you say that trees don't
because
exist?
the seed goes away.
The seed does not go away. The seed continues to transform into sprout and then tree and then more seed, in so much as sunlight and soil and water and all of the causes and conditions necessary to sustain that thing are present. And if they are removed, then that thing that is developing will die.
So the seed which triggered this whole mechanistic process, it isn't around anymore.
I think
When there's soil
again,
and sunlight and water and
it
sprout
is
grows.
it is the thing that was the seed is still around, but it's not called a seed anymore.
Really? I've never heard that
I
before.
wouldn't consent to the word really, but um
No, I've just never ever heard that before. Okay, this is brand news to me.
okay.
But it's good to be 65 ancient years old and learn something new.
Yeah, so I don't know. I'm trying my best to understand what they could be saying, and boy, am I open to alternate theories. But it seems to me that we're talking about whether or not consciousness would depend on physicality, whether or not consciousness is resting upon physical causes like blood and semen. And the blood and semen here are standing for name and form. I don't know. Again, I'm super open to other theories. But if we forward ahead,
Yeah, let's
it
see where
may
it's
just
gonna
be
go.
that clarity will come.
Yeah.
Sugeng,
Okay.
your otter just said it was leaving. Just letting you know.
Say again?
Uh-oh. Poor little
Oh,
otter.
oh, oh. No. I'm good.
Mm.
I'm enjoying the Prasangika negotiations a while earlier. Thank you for showing it to me, Ben and Woodpala. I like the play of logics here, and although I tend to gear towards one of you, but I think it's a very healthy discussion. So thank you very much. All right,
Keep
next.
struggling.
Yeah, I'm struggling. I'm happily
Good.
struggling. Okay, let's. I heard Toto's voice just now. Would you mind giving us the honor to read the
My
next.
honor, my honor. Thank you. 너때 딜레 남바셰베 겐키 폼보 나베 민당 숲덴베 닝삼조에 남바셰바 대치달 대당 현직 종외 민당 수키 겐두롱.
Thank you. Nice.
Hmm.
Can I suggest that we read the English first, the notes by Geshe Michael before we jump into the.
Where's the fun in that?
I think it's great.
I think I like that approach. Suddenly, I think maybe it's more intelligent to read and then try to decipher, huh? But I mean,
Sounds
there is
good.
another problem, we will be. Geshe Michael always said that all those are just notes and might not be accurate, and our mind might be shifted towards that and forget about how to really read the original language. But anyway, what
I
this
think it's great.
yeah, okay, so let me read. What this sutra is saying is that if the name and form consisting of the five hips is manifested by the condition of consciousness,
Mhm.
then how could the consciousness which is doing the crossing into new life act as a condition for the name and form which were occurring simultaneous to it, since it is their cause or condition? Oh, looks like this is confirming what Ben was saying just now.
Yeah,
Oh,
it seems like it.
Yeah, wow.
wow. That had not occurred to me. Could you explain how this proves I'm right? Because I didn't get there yet. Help me. I'd
Simul-
love to be told I'm right, but I'm not there.
Occurring simultaneous to it. There it is.
Yeah,
Okay. Okay.
yeah.
Okay.
Okay, let's
So,
attack.
and name and form consisting of the five heaps means if you depend on name and form, my goodness, which depends on which? Uh, name and form is manifested by the condition of consciousness. Uh, then how could the consciousness which is doing the crossing act as a condition? Is this because consciousness is one of the five heaps? Oh no.
Okay, I mean, all those are
Okay.
good questions.
Sorry.
Shall we go to the original language
Let's read
and
it.
see? Yeah.
Let's make a stab.
Do, yeah, Dode delay, what the sutra is saying.
Mhm.
Mm.
That's pretty straightforward.
Nampashepe kenki. Nampashepe kenki,
Condition
the
of consciousness.
condition of the consciousness. Pung bong nga pe minh đằng suk ten pe. Nhìn sam jorwe nampashepa.
Interesting. He used the word manifested to translate the verb tempa here.
Ah,
Hmm. Yeah, right.
And that could
And-
help give us a clue as to what maybe we should have done before. I mean, that's
Yeah,
not
well, we did. We said shows last
shows,
time,
yeah.
which is
Oh,
not so
yeah.
far.
No, pretty good, pretty close.
Mhm. So Nabarshepe Kengi by that trigger, which is consciousness, um the five heaps, name and form, uh are shown or something,
But yeah,
and
it's manifested
are manifested, and
by
because
consciousness.
of that,
Oh,
yeah. Oh,
we said
right.
that. We said that. We said that. Okay.
Yeah.
And
And then
therefore
because of
crosses into
that, yeah, consciousnous crosses into a new
oh,
life. Digitarte, if it's like that, Um,
Sorry.
Hanjik Jungwei arising at the same time. Yeah.
If it is like that,
Well, and he
Well,
said, how could it be?
yeah. How could it be wrong? How could it be appropriate?
Mhm.
How could that be appropriate? How could that be reasonable? Um,
Mhm.
if uh if it is arising at the same time as the name and form, which are its trigger.
Oops, that's the opposite of what Ben said.
Oh, whoops.
yeah. Well, I mean, yeah, but which one?
Yeah, but look at him. I wouldn't trust him either. If it's like that, how could it be appropriate?
It is like that. How could that be appropriate
Five.
to
Oh,
say that?
how could it be? Yeah, yeah. How could it be appropriate to say the above thing still, right? To say that. Hmm.
Arise. Okay, it arise.
Yeah. Um.
Yeah, so I think we're missing something here. It's not. I think we should follow Geshe Michael's notes more closely about the meaning. Where we're splitting the meaning is he's taking the Ning Sam Jur Wei Nampar Shepa, meaning the consciousness which crosses into a new life.
Oh, great.
And how could that, he's taking that as part of the second sentence. How could that
Oh,
be the condition, let's see, be the Qian
yeah,
for
great,
name and form, which are happening at the same time.
great,
So
great.
our first sentence will change.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think he did that because there are just so many clauses there in the Tibetan. And then in
Yeah.
English, we would say it the way you just said. Not that that's how it's really presented there.
Mm-hmm. But it's a pretty specific meaning, isn't it? I mean, well, it's different than what I couldn't construe that meaning from the way we had it written. Five heaps of name and form are manifest. Sutras say about that.
I don't think it says, and therefore consciousness crosses
Right.
into other
Yeah.
life.
No. Okay.
Yeah, let's take that out.
The and therefore, there's no
Oh.
and therefore.
Take out the whole thing.
It's like
okay.
the trigger of consciousness, like parenthetically, the one that crosses into a new life.
Mhm.
Yeah.
You know,
When it crosses to a new line.
that's what, no. I'm just saying
Oh.
that I
Yeah.
think that phrase "Ningsam Jorwe Nampar Shepa"
Mhm.
Mhm.
is talking about the first Nampar Shepa.
The first.
Mm.
Yeah, the first moment of consciousness.
No, that
Oh.
the consciousness we're talking about
Oh,
is the one that's
true conscious five
is
heaps.
Using the
gonna.
trigger, right?
Okay. Yeah.
Oh, never mind.
No. So what, something like maybe, Sugeng, if
Yes.
we go up to what the sutra is saying is
Uh-huh.
that, and let's put a comma there and, um, and give ourselves a tiny bit of distance, then, maybe, um, uh, since, um, uh,
Uh,
name and form, which which is the five heaps. The name and form that is the five heaps or something, or maybe you could do a Geshe Michaelian M dash or something. Name and form dash the five heaps dash, right?
Yeah, it's kind of like, yeah, does appear to be what it's.
Are triggered by or sorry, uh, uh, show themselves, or what was the other option, Nick?
Manifest. Manifest.
Manifest,
By the
yeah,
condition of consciousness in that case.
manifest, yeah, comma, triggered by consciousness.
Or that, yeah.
Yeah,
Or trigger.
are manifested, yeah, are, yeah, you
Consciousness.
have to say
Manifested.
both.
Yeah.
Oh, both. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, because both,
Triggered.
we're trying to
Yeah,
get
that's
both words in there.
Okay. Oh,
How with a
okay.
slash in your final translation?
Yeah, you could change the slash to a comma,
Or
Oh,
and then
okay.
it would
Oh,
almost
okay.
be,
comma, yeah.
Okay.
yeah,
Okay.
triggered by consciousness. Yeah. Since name and form, the five heaps are manifest. You could say instead of are manifest, you could say manifest, right?
Oh, manifest. Okay.
Triggered by consciousness.
Oh,
You see?
cool.
Oh,
Uh-huh.
that's cool.
Then how could it be appropriate to say? Yeah, then how could it be appropriate to say?
Yeah, the
Uh,
consciousness that crosses into the new life.
Yes, that the consciousness that crosses into the next life. Perfect.
That could trigger name and
Wait, let
form.
him get that part. Yeah,
Oh,
wait,
sorry.
right.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, yeah.
totally. That the consciousness that crosses into the next life. Yeah.
The consciousness that to
Right.
see that consciousness.
That the consciousness. Say that the consciousness that crosses into say that the. Sorry,
Okay.
you got it. Good. Say that the consciousness that crosses into the next life. Good.
Uh-huh.
Could trigger? Is it trigger or be triggered by? Could trigger the name and form. Could trigger name and form.
Could trigger the name and form.
Yeah, could trigger in the name and form. Yeah, which arise at the same time as it.
Yeah, there you go. As it, yeah, it's important.
And it's does.
Yeah.
As it, yeah, just as it does. That's fine.
Yeah, as it does is fine. Totally.
Nice.
Oh God.
Excuse
Okay.
me, where do we see the since?
Since.
Oh, it's the S in tempeh.
Right.
Oh, this one.
That's the reason, the genitive.
Could it be appropriate, by the way, Sugeng? How could it?
Or not genitive, I'm sorry,
How could it-
attentive.
How could it be appropriate?
How could it be appropriate? Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Crosses into the next life.
Name
Anyway,
and
these are
form.
things.
The
Tighten up.
five hips manifest triggered by consciousness. Okay, how could it be appropriate? Which one is that? How could it be appropriate? The digitar?
The Dejitar
Yeah.
together with the room at the end.
Durung.
Digitar.
Yeah. Durung. Yeah,
Oh,
right.
durung.
Exactly.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Durung.
I see.
Yeah, exactly.
How
Yeah.
could it be?
Dedang Dung Wei Ming Dang
How
Suk
could it
Ken
be
Durung.
then?
Oh, cool. Thank you.
But
So
I think that if it's the case that this is if the I'm sorry, te jitar te durung is like then how could it be? Then I don't think we would say since. I think we would say if.
Oh. If,
Yeah.
right?
If.
Yeah.
If were. If,
Yeah.
you know,
Yeah.
but I, you know,
Yeah, were manifest. But we put the word were before manifest. That would make it more. I agree.
Word to manifest.
Yeah, great.
Oh yeah, how could it be? Oh yeah,
English
parallelism.
isn't correct there yet now, but
Right.
no, that's fine. If name and form were to manifest, trigger
oh
black.
yeah, okay.
That's good. That's good.
Yeah, that's good. Beautiful English. Cool.
4
Shall we-
minutes.
Cool.
Shall
4
we
minutes.
continue
Can we
further?
do it?
Kidding already?
It's small.
Yeah.
We got this.
Let's
Yeah.
try.
If
30 minutes for one, 30 minutes for the next. We got this in 4.
Okay. Let's move on. Yeah. This is short. Hopefully. Do chi me ken yin no se na yang. And suppose it's in the condition.
Do chime, a later time condition is.
Oh, yeah.
Next life.
Is it that the condition is well,
Next life.
yeah, but it doesn't say next life for the next time or something like that.
Yeah.
If suppose
No. Oh, suppose you
na
ask.
yang. Yeah.
Yeah, I got you. Okay.
Yeah.
Or it could just be sometime afterwards.
Yeah,
sometime
exactly. I think
afterward.
it's better to leave it more ambiguous.
Sometime being one word.
Oh, sorry. Yes.
No, it's fine.
Thank you. Something afterwards.
I wonder if you can include
Oh, sorry.
name and form.
You wonder what? Oh, I wonder.
Oh, I'm wondering. No. I personally, I Ben Kramer wonder. Vasubandhu doesn't wonder. But I wonder if it might even be appropriate to include the words name and form that are not at all present in this sentence. Oh no,
No,
unfortunately,
no,
that's
sorry.
not. No,
Sorry.
it would be yes.
For
Suppose you say that it's the condition for
name form, right?
Yeah, for name and form at some time in the
At
future.
sometime afterwards. Okay.
Then it would be 2 words.
Say it.
2 words now.
Oh,
Which to sometime at some time. Yeah, right.
I
Yeah.
see. Oh, okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
Cool.
Is there anything else we can say about this sentence to avoid the next one? No, let's look.
Yang.
Young.
Yang.
Well, and
Sort of like and something. Yeah. Anyway.
However, maybe.
Say it. What was that?
don't know.
Okay.
Should we help us, Sugeng? That's okay. Now you have to help us make sense of this in our lives. I
Okay.
think we've successfully stalled
Cool.
long enough to come to discussion.
Appreciate that effort. Okay. All right. Let's quickly go through a little bit of what we have just discussed today. So we are saying that if the meaning here is that you don't take birth in the mother's womb, at that time it would be just the birth of name and form. Oh, wow. Okay. And because of that, then it would be wrong to say that birth occurs due to that trigger. Okay. Name and form.
Mhm.
Okay. And if from that, what is that? If from can I say the argument that what is this that here?
Yeah, I'm trying to figure it out.
Yeah.
Let's see, daylight. There we go. That's good.
Oh, so now I'm wondering, or is it even,
I think it's more like if that were the case type of thing.
If that were the case,
And if that follows,
but what
It's
if that were the case?
I think so.
Don't
what is-
overthink it. You have
Yeah.
to help people, even if you don't understand what it means. You have to share whatever this general stream of thought has
Okay.
led you to contemplate in your life.
Yeah, I
Abuse
mean,
people no longer with the abstraction.
Okay. All right. Okay. Let's continue. If that were the case, as long as one has not died, consciousness shows itself as a thing triggered by the name and form.
Okay.
How
Okay.
could be
You
suitable
know how
to say that
something
the
that feels relevant to my life about this, Sugeng.
process
Yes,
into
Nick.
a new life. Yeah.
Tell me, Nick.
Sugeng,
Yes.
I would have to say that it's often very difficult for me to find things in these types of presentations that are directly relevant to practical aspects of my day-to-day life. However, something I find interesting is questioning what they're doing now and questioning whether or not something which causes something else can occur at the same time. Because I think that's really interesting thing to examine. Like, if right now I have a cold, right? It's terrible. It's awful. And
We can barely stand listening to you.
I don't blame you. Actually, it's not so bad. I've gotten it way where this isn't that bad. Who knows if it's COVID? I see lots of people wearing masks again. I don't know. It's just a thing. We'll just have to assume it is. Yeah. So my daughter coughed in my face, right? She's got the cold. And it was so did that, and then I got sick that same night, So this is just a really small example, but it's a discussion, it's a debate that we have in my house. Like, is that causing me to get sick? Is that the cause? Because I got sick right away. I'm like, no, it couldn't have manifested that quickly.
Yeah. I think this is very similar to my family's belief, in the sense that my mom, or rather my parents, used to tell us, the children, don't play in the rain because you will catch a cold.
Mhm.
And yeah, true enough, I sort of believed to that. And every time I was caught in the rain, I will catch a cold. But I saw many people who used to play in the rain and they were okay. So I tried myself not to believe that and played in the rain. And I didn't catch a cold. So how do we explain the relation among both, Even until
Right.
today, when my mom got into the rain without umbrella or anything, she would then fall sick. So how do we, well, to me, it's obvious, right? The rain doesn't cause the cold. Because the moment I changed my mind not to believe on that, I didn't fall sick.
The doctors would agree with you as well, by the way. They would say germs cause the cold.
The germ, right? But
Doctors
how,
would say.
but does the rain trigger?
Mhm.
Yeah, it's hard because also even Nagarjuna, right, from whom we, have most of our understanding of emptiness, says that we also have to agree with farmers that watermelon seeds yield watermelons and not kumquats. So somehow we have to find this balance that I find very challenging to balance between an understanding that watermelons lead to watermelon seeds, which lead to more watermelons, which lead to more watermelon seeds, and to think of a thing as a watermelon or a watermelon seed is dependent on my mind. And in fact, right, even this discussion we were having with Paula earlier about the seed becoming a sprout, becoming a tree, the watermelon seed becomes a watermelon sprout, becomes a watermelon plant, becomes a watermelon. When do we say in that journey, this is a seed and this is a sprout and this is a melon? I planted watermelons in Arizona. It's very hard to know when a watermelon is ripe. Very difficult. It's sealed. You can try to smell it, but it's sealed. You bang on it. You try to see, is it hollow? You know who knows when a watermelon is ripe before you do? Are the javelinas. The wild pigs know when the watermelon is ripe, and they will eat it before you do, on the day that it turns ripe. So how do only the mind differentiates when it's a seed or a sprout. The day it becomes a sprout instead of a seed, the day becomes a tree or a bush, a vine instead of a sprout, the day it becomes an edible melon as opposed to a premature melon, that line has to be drawn by a mind. And so there is no watermelon without your mind drawing that line. And so somehow both of these models are true. Watermelons only exist independent upon your mind, and only watermelon seeds cause watermelons, and
a
only
watermelon has to
love
come.
makes love. And a watermelon has to come from that, and cause and effect work faithfully, perfectly. And it depends on your mind. That's hard.
That's hard.
It's hard.
It's hard to maintain that. I go hard on it at SCIM a lot about how we have to. We also can't ignore the stapler or the watermelon seed in this case, because it's important. Like, it's important to keep your immune system healthy and eat good foods and take care of other people's health. And I like to think of it personally as like, because I take care of other people's health, then I have planted the seeds in my mind to have the fortune to be able to buy good food and to know about it and to care. And, because I had some good seeds in my mind, then I have enough, whatever, good people in my life teaching me that you should eat these things so that you're not sick all the time or whatever.
Can I go extreme in this? So we are talking about cause and effect. We are talking about the law of seeds, right? And then if we talk about the ideas from Arya Nagarjuna, everything is coming from our seeds. If the law of seeds is also coming from our own seeds, can I plant the seeds so that the law of seeds will work differently? I mean, so can I plant the seeds so one day maybe watermelon fruit does not have to come from watermelon seeds? Is that, I mean, logically it should be possible, right? If the pen is coming from our pen seeds, and the dog and the chew toy is coming from the dog's chew toy seeds, and then we said that if we were to change the seeds into something else, we will not be seeing the pen. If we are good, we will see something better. If we are bad, we will see a chew toy. So
there's a paradox in there.
Yeah. So if
there's an interesting paradox in there where it's like, if the seeds have to function that way, then since they function that way, then you can plant a seed that they don't function that way, then they wouldn't function that way.
Yeah.
So
true.
then,
in which case you couldn't plant that seed.
In which case you couldn't plant that seed, right?
Right.
So
can
are you saying
plant the seed to see things as, if you wanted to plant the seed to see things as being not empty, You could only do that in dependence upon the fact that they are,
Yeah,
which means
exactly.
Are you
you can't.
and are you saying that the law of sits is a self-standing and substantial on its own?
Oh, it's such a good question, and it's so important to not confuse self-existent with always true.
Mhm.
Though they don't mean the same thing. Something can be always true in dependence upon the shape of our minds, like everything depends on the shape of our minds, and everything always depends on the shape of our minds. And that is only true in so much as we draw a conceptual, we are forced to see a conceptual division between things outside of us and our minds. You see, just to say there's things out there and there's our minds, and that those are different things, and one depends on the other. Those are like arbitrary, made up, useful distinctions. They're not real. We need them, we use them, and we're forced to see this separation between self and other, but it is just an idea, and that's why it's not self-existent, because it's dependent upon name and label, not because it's not always true, because it is always true. But it depends on the shape of your mind, and always will.
So if I were to change the shape of my mind, then what I'm seeing will also change,
It
right?
will.
Hmm.
Yes, but you can't change the shape of your mind
At will.
to force yourself you can't change the shape of your mind to make the world such that it's not dependent on the shape of your mind. That's not possible.
I
That means
think,
And
sorry.
that means I have the ability to change the shape of my mind to see the world change, because if at the end of the day, the shape of the world will always depend on the shape of my mind.
Yeah, you could
yes,
say
Duo
that for
Duo,
sure.
what were
Yeah.
you gonna say?
Yeah, I was trying to say, I have an interesting metaphor. How can a game player access the core code? You know, we are the game player. We abide to the law of
Yes,
karma, but
yes,
the law of
right,
karma is empty. So how
right.
do we access the coding, you know, and we change the coding? I think it's by seeing emptiness directly. But to
Yes,
see emptiness directly, we still have to plant the seeds. We have to it's another paradox, right?
Yeah.
right.
You got to play the
Yeah,
game to get to beat the game. You got to play the game to see inside.
Mm.
you could self-existently try to say that anything is possible. But if absolutely anything is possible, then it should be possible for something to not be possible.
That's true.
So it can't be right. It's not, it's I don't think I believe in paradox. I think usually paradox is what we call it when we're wrong. If there are two things that cannot coexist,
Yeah,
they don't.
I agree with you. It's like the idea of mathematic idea of infinitely small. You know,
Mm.
the size of the thickness of a surface, or how much space does your boundary the physical boundary occupy, things like
Right,
that.
right.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's
right.
really interesting.
Yeah,
And the question goes there a
yeah,
lot, actually, which is really interesting.
yeah. Right, exactly. There's a cute one. I'm just thinking this because I have the four of us on the screen here, which is great. There's this place in America, we have to stop. The four corners where the four states meet.
Yeah, right.
Um, and then if you say the one, are these four boxes touching? Because if they're touching, if the one on the upper left and the one on the bottom right are touching, then the one on the bottom left and the one on the top right can't be touching because the other
There's a
two would be in
boundary.
the way.
Yeah.
You see? Uh, so none of them can be touching where they're all touching.
And
And yet, conceptually, they're all touching.
I think there's something else I want to say about touching. Is like, doesn't touching means there's nothing between? If there's nothing between, how can there be such a thing called touch?
Oh, that's nice. Touch is the thing that goes between them. That's nice.
Interesting.
So touch is a negative thing, but it functions. So it's
Mm,
another thing that You know, I've been
The absence of boundary, I mean, it's the absence
Yeah,
of
I think
yeah.
at the end of the day,
That's
it's about how we define all these things in our language, you know. I mean, maybe in certain, I like you say, touching means there is nothing in between. So, but I don't know. I mean, we need to, well, conceptually we can discuss, but our discussion will also be limited by the what do you call it, the language.
the boundaries
right.
of.
And
Yeah,
and it's always
boundaries.
good
What is
to
boundary? Yeah.
leave the discussion, right? Which we should leave, right? You're always supposed to, we all make this oath to promise to leave the discussion saying at the end, that's why love always creates more love. That's the reason why you can't somehow undermine it. That's the reason why it is necessarily the case that kindness works and continues to work, and you can't break it. So don't
With
worry, keep being
kindness.
kind.
Yeah, let's with kindness, let's end this discussion
Yes,
and
speaking of
welcome
kindness,
And this to
the
Juan
teaching of
Paso.
news.
We can't wait to share the global
Yeah.
news with us.
Thank you, team, for the
Thank
great
you.
thank you,
discussion.
team.
And of
Thank you,
course, thank you,
Sugeng.
team, for lurking behind.
It's always a pleasure.
Lurking.
Yeah, and thanks everybody for joining. We had a really nice turnout today, or we have. And stick around for 15 minutes of world news with Hasso, and then we have Q&A session with Ben Kramer, so we can continue right along this vein, or any other that you'd like to. So thank you, Ben, for doing that, and enjoy. Do take the chance to have a Q&A with Ben. Yeah, you can ask him anything, and he'll give you great, insightful answers. Take it away, Juan. Good to see you.
Thank you guys for your amazing discussion. Now I almost feel guilty to take the time from you because I was really, really interested about these concepts. I think
Good.
it's wonderful to give ourselves time to be here. Like every week, I do appreciate that. And I see how the numbers on this program keep going up and up. And I keep encouraging people to either invite your friends if you enjoy this too much, or invite people that you don't like if you find this boring. But anyways, invite people because it's so wonderful. Like these kind of things, hearing you guys talking among each other affects me in a very beautiful way. So thank you. But of course, here I am, and I have to report the news, which I do also very gladly. What is today? Today is Monday, November 11th. And in just 3 more days, we're going to be starting the wonderful YSI program, Hatha Yoga Pradipika, number 4, chapter 4. Very excited. We heard last week that the morning classes are going to happen at the Sedona College in Sedona, and the evening classes are going to happen at the Poco Diablo Resort. It's a very nice hotel in the area with a big conference room. Some other organizations have been renting this space, and the events there usually go very, very well. So it's like a new, seems to me, milestone for YSI that now the attendance are so many that a bigger venue is needed. So congratulations. And we are very excited to hear the content about it. If you haven't signed up yet, either online or live, this may be one of your last chances. You can follow the QR code for it. Okay, and then after that, after November, we are aiming for Kyoto. As I like to say, the World Bee Organization Summit happening in Kyoto, because many different organizations and many different events are taking place there, starting with, of course, Steps on the Path. The grand finale of these 14 years of teaching is going to be there, wonderful, from the 1st to the 7th. And just after that, Prema, together with YSI, are organizing this yoga retreat with great, great teachers, very experienced teachers. They are providing a platform for us to digest or put into practice everything that we learned also in the retreat, and with them along the year. So you can see how even the title is an inner exploration retreat. Yes, this is the poster also in Chinese for people who may be interested, or yeah, I think it's Chinese. Well, Japanese is also the same characters. I didn't know that, but many of the characters are the same. Although the pronunciation is different, but the characters is
Characters are silent.
something happened. My Zoom, kicked me out. But I wanted to show you the next picture, which is the next one, please. That's part of the Prema event, but the next one is the other event happening at the same time, together with Steps on the Path, the SKAA reunion on this 2024. And if you have ever attended the Sedona College, you are somehow a candidate to attend to these kind of events. In the next picture, we can see the QR codes. And of course, you can talk with Mr. Sugeng, with Xing Tian, how to be part of it. But the content and the conference seminars are happening in the same hotel. So it's like a congregation of many things. And as a special surprise, or like a, cherry on the top of the cake, on December the 7th, Mental Seed, along with other organizers there in Japan, are organizing this wonderful talk with Marie Kondo, which happens to be a very famous, like a show in Netflix, mostly on how to tide your life using intuition and energy, together with Geshe Michael teaching about how you can tide your life at the pen and seeds principle. They're going to be co-hosting a very wonderful conference. Soon we will be sharing the QR code to sign up for this, either live or online, but letting you know it's happening. Okay, and today, just before we move to the next Q&A, remind you that we are planning something for December 31, and we want to invite Kat with us today because she has a very cool project. First, we're going to show you a cool video and then a quick talk with her. So if Tech Table could help me with the video we prepared today and share with the volume, please. Thank you so much. Hope you enjoy.
3 years ago, Geshe Michael started Sky Harvest, a non-profit for ecological restoration. Land use practices are very controversial in Arizona, and especially water usage is very controversial. And he said we cannot make enemies with our neighbors. We have to help them be better in their business. So that's what Sky Harvest is doing. He assigned us to Diamond Mountain for reforestation, town of Bowie for food and water security, local rancher to restore grasslands damaged by cattle grazing, the quarry, I don't know how we're going to help the quarry, the fort for Bowie, and the nut orchards. So we have plans for all those land stakeholders to help them improve their businesses. Welcome to the Bowie Community Center and Project Oasis headquarters. Thanks for coming, Juan. This was gifted to Sky Harvest by the Palmas family when she passed away. And there's over a half an acre here. And we have a pole barn here inside. with an adobe floor that Diamond Mountain students put together in 2005, 2006. This is going to be a community center for the town of Bowie. Sky Harvest will offer ecological restoration workshops. Bowie is very under-resourced. 28% of the people who live here are below poverty level. There's a population of 312 people living in 100 homes. The first focus will be Operation Kitchen Garden. We're going to set up a model which will turn into a community food garden. So we're going to provide a source of food locally, and then we're going to be installing individual kitchen gardens at each home. So then the second part of Operation Kitchen Garden is to install at their houses gutters, sometimes to replace a roof. We'll install storage tanks and irrigation systems that feed their kitchen garden. There's more. We're partnering with Green Stretch Pen. So we will be having school children work in the community garden. We will be teaching them how to make good, healthy food from the food that we grow, as well as teaching them some of those stretch exercise things that Green Stretch Pen does. We're also working with Benji Bridges from YSI. He's developed a permaculture plan for the whole town of Bowie. And we're going to be doing earthworks improvements to catch rainwater so that we can plant fruit and nut trees throughout the whole town. And you can just walk through the streets, pluck an apple or some nuts for no cost. And the project will live up to its name, Project Oasis. It's a town of 312 people. We're really feeling optimistic and excited that we can make an impact in this community with a half an acre, especially when we have supplemental gardens installed at each of the 100 homes. I want to thank Singapore Group for helping to fund the young Apache man from San Carlos Reservation who did the painting, Mr. Joseph Roan Eagle. He did a beautiful job, don't you think? So welcome to the inside of our Bowie Community Center and Project Oasis headquarters. You can see the Sanskrit graffiti left over from the day when we got this building going for Como. And we're going to be having ecological restoration workshops here. Our first focus is going to be establishing food and water security for the town through our installation of small kitchen gardens at participating homes. And we'll be having potlucks and fun get-togethers here in the building otherwise. So we'll look forward to keeping you posted.
Okay, wonderful. So this is a expedition Kat and I had the chance to do just last retreat in Diamond Mountain. I would like to ask the tech table if you can help me to, highlight. Kat, how are you? Thank you so much. How are you doing over there?
Great. Thank you for having Sky Harvest on board tonight.
My pleasure. So last time we were there, you were telling me about how almost ready to implement the whole plan you're getting over there. So today we would like to just ask you how's it going and how can we all support if we want to help the project there?
Oh, thank you for asking. Yes, there's lots of ways to help. We're introducing food and water security to the town of Bowie with individual kitchen gardens that we're installing in each person's home who participates with the program. And we're installing water catchment equipment onto each participating home so they can irrigate with confidence that they have enough water for their food, as well as not have to pay for the water from the water company. So we have a program where you can fund a family's food source for $250, which will provide seeds, soil, and raised garden beds. And then we have an option for $1,950 donation that you could install the gutters, the downspouts, the water storage tanks, and the irrigation system. So thank you very much. If you would like to help empower this town with some healthy food. It's interesting to note that the United Nations created a designation for towns such as Bowie, which is Diamond Mountain's backyard, by the way, called food deserts. And if a town is 25% below poverty level and more than 2 miles from a healthy food store, it's considered a food desert. And Bowie is 25 miles from the nearest store. So having healthy food locally is going to radically improve their quality of life. And food available in their own backyard with free water is going to be wonderful.
Yeah, I think the project is really capable of making a big impact on the community. And I like to think how Diamond Mountain, which is this big retreat center in the town of Bowie, is also spreading the light, to all the surroundings. It's very wonderful, this idea. Like, it's like you are planting a big seed, and then all the fruits, all the light, all the resources are spreading out. So thank you so much for doing this. I like this idea. There are 100 homes, and with this like average of $2,000, each house can do amazing things that's gonna make them very sustainable in the future. I think when this project, ripens, it's gonna attract a lot of good energy, a lot of good people into the area. So thank you so much for saving this area, I will say. Thank you so much.
Thank you for your support.
Very welcome. And we will keep talking with you to see how it's going. So if anybody wants to support, please just approach us, ask questions. We will help you. And then soon we will keep checking on how the progress is going in this wonderful, wonderful project.
Excellent. And you can make donations directly at that QR code.
Thank you so much. Good to see you, Kat.
Thank you.
We will see again soon. For now, we're going to move on with Colonel Ben Kramer. He's ready to answer all your questions, either right or wrong. I don't know. We're about to check. Just kidding. See you later.
Thank you, Juan. It's awesome. Thank you.